Wow. I have an echo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'll be your host, Brent Thomas. And really excited to be here. Of course, it's Wednesday, which means it is
Hump Day!
Thank you, Don.
It took me a minute. I was like, I haven't done that in a while. Oh, that must be what he wants.
That is why.
Hump Day!
Welcome to Hump Day, ladies and gentlemen. You are halfway to the weekend, and we are happy to celebrate that with you here on the Paranormal Portal. As always, we are going to do our best to entertain you as well as we know how for the next couple hours. So you got to respect the effort at least, right, Don?
Well, yeah. Brent says, a couple minutes isn't late, but 15 might be pushing it.
I don't think we're 15.
No, we're not 15. No.
We're 11.
Yeah, 11. See, yeah, exactly. It's not 15. We're fine.
We're fine. It's
oh, pshaw.
We're fashionably late for our own show, Don. That's just what happens.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, hey, it's Don's funeral. Where the hell is he?
Yeah, well, we can't even bury him. He's not here.
Jeez.
Well, you know what?
Knucklehead. He'll probably sit up in the casket and scare everybody.
If you're here looking for a polished show, you're probably in the wrong place anyway.
We're not even a diamond in the rough. We're just rough.
I think we still qualify as coal.
Coal, yeah.
Not quite even diamonds. But welcome everybody. Hope you guys are doing great. As always, we have a whole boat of fun. We're going to be hitting the news, of course, the news. And then we're going to be hitting the Discord question of the week for the Wednesday show. And then we're just going to talk about all kinds of paranormal goodness and hit some Cryptid Corner. And by God, that should round out the journey. So I think it's looking like a good journey, huh, Don?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got people coming in who are forgetting to hit the like button.
It just went up to 10, right, when you said that.
Yep, and then it went to 11 as soon as I...
there it did for me.
Yeah.
Mine's lagging a little bit.
12. Oh, my goodness. That's what happens when you remind people.
Just give us some of that love. I'm still at 11, though. I don't know how you hit 12.
I got 13
there it goes.
now.
Never mind. I just hit 12. I'm way behind the boat.
Wow, apparently so.
Like, I'm only running the show.
Swim faster. That's a megalodon.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
Megalodon. You are the Megalodon. That's kind of funny. You should get a T-shirt with a bearded reptile and call it the
That's awesome.
Megalodon.
I'm gonna do that.
That's coming up in a future Teespring issue of Paranormal Portal gear.
I'll have to work on that.
The Megalodon. All right, so let me think. Is there anything that we got to put up? We Don and I, of course, are going to be heading to Vernal, Utah. Beginning of September for Phenomicon, where we're hoping to bump into all kinds of you people if you go over to Vernal, Utah. Head to phenomicon.net to get more information, of course, because We had a lot of fun there last year.
We did. We came out with some really great interviews, too.
Yeah, we got some great interviews. Of course, that was amazing, but it was even more amazing meeting some of you. We met several of you guys, actually.
Really, yeah.
And people, there were some people there that actually knew who we were.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, hey.
I actually got stopped and, hey, can I take a photo with you? It's like, sure.
Nobody took a photo with me.
Well, maybe you were in the background.
That's usually where I am.
Nobody keeps baby in the corner.
Everybody puts Dawn there, though. Hey, Dawn, no photo bombing the pictures.
Yeah. Don't put baby in the corner. That's Don's spot.
Jesus. That's my official parking spot.
At least you're not in the closet. That's what I'm saying.
No closet for this guy.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but just as far as figures of speech go. So we have a lot of things to get to, and hopefully in the course of all this, you're going to feel wildly entertained. In a perfect world, that's exactly how you're going to feel. Like, I love that show. I was wildly entertained.
But the problem is you might be mildly offended. Just saying.
Most people are. After 2 hours of us done,
you can't help it. you're like, oh, that's 2 hours I'll never get back.
You're gonna leave here a little entertained, a little confused, and probably a lot pissed. I don't know.
Oh boy.
So hopefully we're gonna bump into our buddies at Supernatural Station down there.
Yeah.
In
That'd
Vernal.
be nice to bump into
Jared
those guys.
and Roman. Yeah.
The Daniel twins. Yeah.
The twins, twice as much fun because they are two wonderful
if I
guys.
could just tell them apart.
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, I'll figure it out eventually.
You'll figure it out. Although they are identical twins, they are very uniquely individual.
They are.
So anyway, we got a lot to get through tonight, and we hope that you're going to enjoy it. And if not, just remember, you got what you paid for. Unless you remember, then I'm sorry.
We'll try harder next time.
Or super chatter. We'll do better, we promise. So,
jeez, wow.
All right, so I guess that's it. Anything else I'm forgetting, Don?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't think of anything. Yeah.
All right, so without further ado, let's get to some of the news.
The news.
And just find out what the hell's going on in this world of ours. Without further ado, the news. Now, I actually have to fade this manually. It sucks, dude. Why is that up there? Why is there a video capture device there? What is this? Oh, that's the animation. Okay. Oh. I'm just looking at the production software. I hid a bunch of these things, and they're popping up randomly on their own. So, gotta love this software. I mean, I really do, but it's really vexing me lately, Don. I'm feeling vexed.
Well, if OBS wouldn't have done that update, maybe things would have been fine.
Yeah, it should have been fine.
Why fix things that aren't broke?
I don't know. Ask Microsoft. They've made a living out of it.
That's because they keep breaking it, making you buy more.
Yeah, well, there's that. Planned obsolescence and all. Yeah. But okay, let's get to the news see what we can do here, folks.
The news.
Let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm not good at this live fading stuff, but anyway.
Here we go.
It's so unnatural.
Yeah. I like doing it the other way because it was a little covert and some people didn't get it, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a little less subtle this way. But
hey, Brent, you know what?
What, Don?
Do you know what? Do you know what you get if you cross a polar bear and a grizzly?
No. What do you get?
You get this thing called a pizzly bear or a growler.
A growler?
A growler bear. And that's true. Just like a tiger and a lion, It's a liger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's serious.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah, well, it's called a growler or a pizzle bear.
What'd you get, Ash?
Pizzly
A growler.
I got a growler. There you go. Fact of the day.
There you go. And in case you needed to know, now you know.
And if you didn't, you still do.
Yeah, you're welcome. from the heart of the beard.
Do you know that it is 100% possible that you have drank water that has passed through a dinosaur?
Yeah, no, I did know that.
Yeah, there you go.
We've drank the same water, or at least some of the same water as all the historical figures by now.
Right.
Like, so we got that going for us.
Wow, maybe I could be smart as Einstein.
No, that's probably not enough water for that, Don.
That'd take a whole evolution.
That's a whole
for you.
different level of science we're talking about, Don.
Somebody's going to have to evolve you from that Pokemon.
Yeah, no kidding. Be a hell of a lot of gym training on that one. So. All right, so we're going to get to some news stories. Let's see if we can do it without a bunch of freaking ads again.
Rachel says, if you're confronted by one, you'll likely pizzle.
A pizzle. You'll pizzle yourself.
You know, we should get her to write for us.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, it actually had a thing. Okay, so the first news story coming up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is from a wonderful site that I adore called unexplained-mysteries.com.
Isn't that adorable?
Please support this site. It's so awesome. I'd hate to see them go away because they're not getting enough love. So give them some love. And the first one up is 300 paranormal incidents recorded at notorious haunted house. God, that could be this house.
Wow.
I mean, really good.
That wasn't a demon. Stay out of the bathroom.
That's not sulfur.
Damn it, Aaron.
God, spray. All right, so.
Right to match.
Too much. All right, 300 paranormal incidents. Yes. Sounds like a great place to go, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful place.
Good investigating place, but it says a farmhouse in a remote area of northern Wales has been home to a wide range of paranormal occurrences. The Pennyford, two Ds. I wonder if that's an L then. Yeah, you know, usually in Welsh, two Ds together is an L sound. Like Merlin would be spelled Myrdd.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway. So Pennyford has seen so many cases of paranormal phenomena over the years that it has even attracted the interests of Hollywood. Mother of four, Rosemary Gower, whose experiences at the farm have been investigated for a new BBC documentary, Paranormal, The Girl, the Ghost, and the Gravestone, has spent years documenting the various occurrences that have taken place there. These range from disembodied voices in empty rooms to sightings of full-blown apparitions. In one case, a large wooden owl was seen moving on its own, while in another, a figure of a pregnant woman mysteriously appeared on the patio before vanishing into thin air.
Oh, wow, that's scary.
That sounds like some kind of vergence in the dimensions or something.
Could you imagine a wooden owl just, because they don't make noise unless they want to. So what if that came flying at you?
Maybe the wood ones do make noise. I'm not sure how that works. It says, one day I was moving some dried flowers that had started to look a bit manky, M-A-N-K-Y, manky, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
So I decided to throw them away, Gower wrote while documenting the occurrence. I took them from the lounge to the kitchen and put them on the counter, dropping petals all the while. Somebody came to the door, and I was about 30 seconds. And when I came back, every single petal had disappeared.
Wow.
They had been replaced by dead or dying half-drowned wasps.
Oh.
Wow. Dead or dying half-drowned wasps.
Wow.
There was no sign of a wasp's nest, and all of the doors and windows were shut. Inexplicable. Her records even attracted the interest of Hollywood producers looking to make a movie, but when Gower heard that it wouldn't be completely factual, she turned the offer down. Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, I like her. Integrity. Wow.
Yeah, don't let the gun show get a hold of that.
Yeah. They were going to make up a load of stuff based on a true story, and like Cocaine Bear maybe. And it was going to be ridiculous, she said. I would not ever sanction that.
Nice.
You either have a true story or you don't have it at all.
Right.
Good for her. Wow, that's awesome. So You can look for it. Again, it's called Paranormal, The Girl, the Ghost, and the Gravestone. It's a BBC documentary. I'd love to check that out.
Nice, yeah.
I don't know if we have, if that'll be somehow aired on some platform over here. I know there's BBC America if you got Dish and stuff, but I don't have that. So
I bet you could get it on your Fire Stick.
You know, maybe if I was that interested in joining for one thing, but
I'm pretty sure you could probably get a 7-day free trial.
Yeah, probably.
But you're the kind of guy that forgets to.
Yeah, and then I'm paying for it for 3 years or something
Right?
stupid. I do that all the time. That's why I don't ever do free trials. It's like, nope, because I'm going to forget, and then I'm going to look at my statement and go, why am I $300 less than I should be?
All you have to do, though, is go to your Amazon account, though, and just check it once a month and go, okay, I'm not watching that.
See, you lost me at once a month. I was with you up until you said once a month, and I was like, nah. The only time I check Amazon is when I'm clicking order or add to cart.
Add to cart.
That's it. Yep. So that's about the only Amazon checking I do. I did, however, for those of you out there who have encouraged me repeatedly, get Discovery Plus. Well, I got it. I got it.
Didn't I get? I didn't.
No, you didn't do it.
God darn it.
Yeah, no, Mr. And not dependable. But I did get it. However, some reason it's not working on my Fire Stick the way it should. So I got to call Amazon and find out what the hell's wrong.
That doesn't make any sense.
I paid for the subscription.
Right.
I went to the channel to watch it, and it says inactive account. Click to update plan and reorder.
Yeah, well, that's going to be
I clicked
about
that.
3 years till you get that done. They're going to charge you until then, right?
No, yeah, yeah, probably. That's how well I snap to those things. But then if I go through the subscription process again, it says this device is already under a subscriber plan. Log out and log back in. I'll log back out, log in, inactive account. So
wow,
I got this horrible loop, and I'm pissed. So anyway, I have it coming. I'll be able to watch those things you guys recommended if I remember them. And if I don't, just let me know in Discord which ones I should be watching. Oh. I appreciate that.
Wait a minute. So double D in Welsh is a TH sound, says Maggie. So Maggie would know. Yeah.
Maggie, you're wrong. You're Australian.
No, actually, she's a Brit living in... Oh.
Hey, Don, you don't need to get in this. It's between me and Maggie. All right. You might be right. I don't know, Maggie. It's not like I'm worldly or something. I have no idea. I can barely speak English. My God. All right. So that's the first article
we
tonight.
Don't even speak English, dude. None of us do.
Not proper. We speak all this amalgamated mess.
I'd rather just have double D's than a TH.
Oh, you didn't. It didn't take you any time at all to just corrupt the hell out of that, Don.
I didn't say anything.
There's something so wrong with you. All right, let me move on before I lose Don more.
It's Pennyforth.
Yeah, let's move on before I lose you completely. Don's going to be curled up in a fetal position, chuckling to himself in the corner.
What would be new?
All right, so let's continue on. That was the first one up. Let's get to the next one.
You're giving me another shot. That's what.
No, I mean next story.
Oh, next story.
It had nothing to do with you. All right, here we go. Here's the next story up on our News Festival of Fun tonight. And this one is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. And it's kind of cool. Graves belonging to the Knights Templar found in Staffordshire. So they found some graves. I didn't know.
Are good too, though.
Huh? What?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were was there a big mystery of where these Knights Templar were?
Well, they probably just found them by chance.
Oh, like they've been finding kings. In parking lots and stuff. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Probably true. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. The intriguing find has been likened to something out of Dan Brown's novel, The Da Vinci Code. One of the most wealthy and powerful organizations in the Middle Ages, the Knights Templar, have long been steeped in mystery and intrigue, not least in part due to the amount of treasure that they were said to have amassed and hidden at various locations throughout Europe, and legendarily some of the Americas as well. But Oak Island, for instance. The order has been heavily featured in Dan Brown's popular novel, The Da Vinci Code, which also helped to popularize the theory that the Templar may have even been in possession of the Holy Grail. Now, historian Edward Spencer Dias has made a fascinating discovery of 8 Knights Templar graves on the grounds of St. Mary's Church in Enville in Staffordshire. It's unclear exactly why there should be so many of them buried at this location, but the find could put the church on the map as one of the most significant Templar sites in England.
Oh.
I believe these discoveries make Enville one of the most nationally important churches in the country. He said that's due to its close links with William Marshall, who is considered one of the greatest warriors England ever produced. But there is a mystery of why a European Templar is buried in Enville and why they were so secretly so prominent there. That is interesting. What was I thinking of? I was going to say something and now it's gone. It says the real-life Da Vinci Code historian uncovers graves belonging to members of the Knights Templar in Staffordshire and one of the most nationally important discoveries of its kind.
You know, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they were in England. What if they just, they died of dysentery on the Oregon Trail and they just happened to be in Staffordshire? And so they buried them in Staffordshire. So what's the point? I mean,
weren't they being executed, though, too?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you wonder if these were executed and laid to rest there.
Yeah. No, because there wouldn't be gravestones.
Oh, wouldn't they have given them a burial?
A hole and tossed them in.
Okay.
That's if they didn't let the ravens and the scavenger birds eat them.
Pluck at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know. That's curious. Whatever the case is, that's pretty cool. I guess it's good that they found them and they're recognized for being what they are. Just a little slice of history, a little culture.
Chucky.
He
said he died at the hands of the Knights Hussini.
Oh, yeah. All right. Little Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So here we go with the next to last article. This one is weird.
Isn't the Holy Grail in Kenya?
I don't know. I have no idea. They didn't tell me. Nobody. I wasn't included in that memo.
Dang it.
Unexplained-mysteries.com, and this is one that I found really fascinating. I watched the video, I think, on TikTok, and it's pretty crazy. If there's a video included here, we'll watch that. I'll have to do the fader thing again, but
wow.
It's from unexplained-mysteries.com. Kayaker comes across humpback whale that appears frozen in place. Now, this kayaker's, it's in this clear acrylic kayak.
Nice.
And it's really like frozen like that. And he does circles around it. And there's a baby also in here that's swimming around going, what's going on? It's like almost, it's really weird behavior, but this thing actually freezes like that and doesn't move.
With its tail up?
Its tail up and its head down. And Don't break that.
Damn it.
John, don't break that.
Did you see me?
I feel the tension. This is my blind spot. I can't see anything.
I went just like I was listening to you. Check this out. I was listening to you. I'm all turned like this, and all of a sudden I went, and you went, nope. I'm like, dang it.
No, I know.
Got caught.
I know. It's just I have this psychic link that I just detected, and all of a sudden my intestines start to tighten up, and I was like, no, Don, don't do it. Don't do it, Don.
So, I've become predictable.
I've come to realize when I'm reading things, is there any way Don can screw this up? Is there any way Don can? Yes, he can. Put on the brakes. So I have a cute Don sense.
That's just Don sense.
It's not nonsense. It's Don sense. So I just listen to everything I read and it's like, no, don't do it. Don't. So yeah. All right. Let me read the article now.
Justin Arsonist is something that's not shown. You guys can't see it in chat, but he got it right.
Oh, okay. All right. So social media star Brody Moss came across a whale's tail sticking out of the water.
That's a whale tail.
Well, I'm like floating on the mute here. Whale's tail sticking out of the water while out on his kayak. While finding a whale in the waters of off the coast of Australia might not seem particularly unusual, you've probably never seen one quite like this before. When Moss discovered what looked like a whale's tail suspended out of the water while paddling in his transparent kayak recently, he couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. The tail seemed to be frozen in place, almost like a glitch in a video game. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Oh, the video's unavailable. Oh, they made it private.
Okay, I'm going to find it.
Using an underwater camera, he was able to record footage of the whale itself, which seemed to just be sitting upside down in the water, motionless, with its tail above the surface. What is it doing? He pondered in the video, and it turns out that what he had found was a whale engaging in a very rare activity, tail sailing, which still remains something of an enigma, but could be aimed at helping the whale to cool down. You can check out the full encounter in the video below. No, you can't.
Here it is. I've got it.
Don got it. Yeah, check it out. Put a link in the chat if you would, please.
Oh, you dirty.
Oh, somebody bought it.
Yeah.
This person sold it or locked it down so that everybody
locked it down. Nobody's going to find it.
I did watch it, and it's pretty incredible.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. It's unavailable now, folks. So we can't quite share with you the visuals of this, but it really is pretty spectacular. It's I don't know what this whale or tail sailing is. It's a whale of a tail or two. But whatever it is really bizarre when you see the video. It's like, what the hell is that thing doing?
It was probably going so viral he turned it off.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine why?
Yeah, the only way you're going to find it is if somebody downloaded it. You know what? I'm going to search TikTok.
Do it.
I'm going to be busy for a minute.
His name is Brody Moss, so maybe that'll help.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah. Okay, so Don's going to look for it. If we can find a link for you guys to check it out, we will do that. Let's go to the last story.
I don't have TikTok loaded on this computer.
Oh, you are just in trouble.
Phone? Here we go. Okay.
On your phone.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, I'll lose Don to TikTok land again. I'll look over and he'll be going through TikToks instead of being here. Don't leave me, Don. Don't leave me for TikTok land. All right.
It won't take that long.
All right, so here's the last story tonight for the news. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. I don't know, it's a kind of a mystery. It's under the heading of modern mysteries.
I already found it.
Yeah?
It's right there.
Oh, yeah. That is
nice.
it.
All right, let me get it to you.
Well, yeah, we'll put it in the chat for you guys. or send it to yourself, or I don't know.
I'm going to send it to your messenger.
Okay. All right, so here's the last story. Mystery clue discovered in a bottle washed up along the River Thames. And there you go. It's a mysterious 4-line poem thought to have a hidden meaning has been found in a bottle along the river. Everyone's heard stories of messages in bottles and treasure maps leading to buried riches, but for one man, the discovery of a bottle along the banks of the River Thames recently has sparked a real-life mystery, the answer to which remains tantalizingly elusive. Chris Green has been scouring the banks of the river for valuables, a pastime known as mudlarking. Okay, I'd never heard of that. When he spotted a small container with a note inside. The note, which was printed on laminated paper, read, "Wide and heavy, filling out the town, north of Freehold, I can be found." Oh, okay. Intrigued, Green decided to post the message up on social media to ask for a second opinion. "I have a bit of a puzzle for you today," he wrote. "I was on the Thames last week and I found this message in a bottle. It looks like some kind of cryptic clue, but it's too tricky for me. So I need to call on the collective brain to try to solve this one. I could be wrong, but does this have a hint of the U.S. about it? Maybe our friends across the pond can help. As things stand, however, nobody has been able to fully decipher the message. Or the mystery, rather. I don't know. North of Freehold, I can be found." It sounds like if it was laminated, it's some kind of publicity thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be, because it's not like just some random,
right.
You'll find the treasure there or something. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. I guess it was less of an interesting story than I thought it was. But
there you go.
It's a story nonetheless, folks.
So that's in your, you should be able to.
Okay, I'm going to get it for you guys, and let's see if I can do this, if it'll let me copy it. See, I don't like this very much. Well, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this first. Let's see. because I get that ugly Facebook link on everything when I try to copy it directly from Messenger.
Well, just play it right there.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. It's being protected for a reason. So I'm going to put it out there for our listeners and viewers to watch. And you guys can be the judge, but the tale is really pretty bizarre. It's a whale of a tale. There you go, folks. There's the link to it if you want to check it out. That is there while we exit the news.
The news.
It's time to exit the news. All right, let me do this. This, and then this. There we go.
Tail sailing, huh?
Yeah, I've never heard of that tail sailing thing. I don't know what the hell that means. And they don't explain it in that article either, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Are they just floating there and getting blown by the tail?
Wait a minute. Wait. Does he have a drone?
Must have.
He's got to be out there with someone else. Because there was an aerial shot.
Yeah, I mean, it just needs a drone.
Yeah.
Just a drone set to follow me or
it's
whatever, and it'll just follow.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can set those
I
drones
didn't
to
know that.
yeah to pursue, and they'll just sit above you and follow and keep their camera on you. Yeah.
I don't need that, Pooh Bear. I might need that, Pooh Bear.
Yeah. Well, it's something that I've thought about for when we do investigations. It'd be nice to get some aerial shots and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have not had the ability to acquire such things yet. But when we can, you can rest assured we'll have a new toy. All right, so which brings us to our next segment, folks.
Oh, Chucky. He says the question of the week this week sucks. Oh, jeez.
You got it. It does suck.
It does suck.
It does suck. Thank you, Chucky, for the next part of our show, which is the question of the week, which has been championed by our good friend, Mr. Chucky Danger, who is keeping this on and afloat.
Where would you
and
choose
stuff.
to haunt and why?
That was mine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, there it is.
Okay, so we've got on question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This is our segment of the show where we pull in our Discord community and we say, hey, what do you guys think?
We
and
pull them in screaming and kicking and crying and clawing. And
sure. And so we pose a question dealing with the paranormal to all of you. And just to see what your thoughts are. Let me put a link in the chat to join the Discord. https://discord.gg/paranormal portal. And that is how you will join the Discord if you so choose to be a part of our amazing community. It's very much like the YouTube chat. Oftentimes I get compliments about our audience here, and it's because you guys are so engaging and wonderful to people. And so a lot of people that come and check out the show, they're always blown away by our chat community. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't take any credit for that. That's all you guys. So thank you for that. And so it's basically a continuation of our YouTube chat, but just in a 24/7 kind of world. The Discord chat world, as it were. So that's how you join, and we'd love to have you become part of it. I see Luna's still typing. So Luna, you're running out of time. All right, so we're going to get to the Discord question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, where we will see what you think.
absolutely.
All right. Want to hear it?
So,
Wait.
oh,
I have to do the sound effect on it. We're pretty low budget right now.
oh, okay.
Discord question of the week. Okay, so we are going to head over now.
On that one.
Rawr.
How you doing?
Okay, Don, take it away.
So, question of the week for Wednesday show. Pretty well, every culture has stories and lore about vampires. Some regions, such as the Middle East, have a very active vampire superstition. Do you think there is substance to these stories with the undead roaming the earth, or is it just tall tales of fantasy? Well, they're not whale tales, that's for sure. Is that Arian Abyss or Ariana Abyss?
Ariana Abyss.
Ariana Abyss. I do believe there are real vampires. I'm not sure what their powers are, but I do believe they feed on blood and hate us. Very Savage Garden kind of stuff right there. Karen, how you doing, Karen? She's here today. Hi.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Tell the hubby hi for us. I think there are vampires for sure. Energy vampires are just being around them suck all of the energy out of you. Yes, like my mother. As far as Dracula types, not so sure about that. I think Vlad was just a horrifically evil person.
Sure.
Quite possibly. I'm going to skip that next one because it's actually for the Saturday answer. I think vampires are for real, says Eric the Purple Hobbit. Welcome to Fright Night. There you go. But says, yes, I seriously believe they do exist.
Raw.
So, yeah, Raw MMJ says, there's no mistaking I'm an old entity that resurfaces. Known in America as Son, the Native American. I'm the oldest stop coming back son. I mean it. When you come back, I have to come. They come after me.
Is this an answer or what is
I don't
this?
know. You have somebody ringing your doorbell.
Well, somebody shouldn't be ringing my doorbell.
Ring my bell. Do you want to go check? You want me to go to check?
Yeah, will you please?
Yeah, I
and
will.
I'll continue.
Yep, you continue.
All right.
I'll take
So I'm not sure what you're doing here, Raw, if this is something up or whatever, but let's, they're coming after me. I'm just reading this to try to understand what is this. So, okay. Yeah, I'm just looking. Okay, so I can vouch for people living underground and drinking blood. The vitamin and mineral content in the blood is extremely high. Additionally, some of us bleed from the stomach. I don't know what this means. I'm sorry. Is where I'm at for vampire. Okay. I think they are, I don't know. I'm sorry, Raw. I don't understand. It's where we're going with this. It's a strange narrative. I appreciate your response. Don't get me wrong. I just don't understand. What are you saying? Are you believe in vampires or not? Or is it creative writing? So I apologize. But yeah, I appreciate the response. My answer is MOAR. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Chasing Mound Builders. You already know my thoughts on it, but to reiterate, yes, they are real. Chasing Mound Builders says, yes, they're real. I Am Pam comes in and says, I believe they are vampires, but not as we taught in the movies and books. I believe they are humans, but are evil and emulate evil, sucking the life out of everyone they come in contact with. They are often reclusive and introverted and show themselves when they need fed. In a spiritual way, hence sucking the life's blood out of everyone. I remove these people from my life who are also often narcissistic and selfish. Yeah, there is definitely energy vampires. Yeah. And I don't know that it's very much different in many regards. So I'm on Marie. Do you want to take back over?
Right. Was it Marie or was that Pam? Okay, so it was Marie. Okay. Seen Blood Circus. Ash Hermit says.
No. I haven't read Marie.
Oh, you haven't.
Yeah.
You haven't read Marie. Oh, because I thought you were on Pam.
Yeah, I just
They're
finished Pam. I said
I believe they're humans and evil. I agree. Narcissistic behavior.
Yeah.
Really is taxing when it comes to, just being around people like that. It's just incredible.
Sure.
Marie says, I haven't seen a bloodsucker to my knowledge, but I believe anything has possibilities to exist in this stage in my life. And there are definitely people who suck energy out of you. Just think about it. There's been some people in our lives who are just too tiring to be around. Yes, Exactly. Even if they're nice people, they just zap the energy out of you, and you feel compelled to get far away from them as you can.
Yeah.
Now, is that necessarily an evil thing on their part, or is it just they're just so exuberant and such a external, an extrovert,
Yeah.
they just pull everything. I don't think in that case, in some cases, it's not anything they plan to do. It's not evil. It's just
Right.
they are just so exuberant that they have this presence that just saps everything out of everything. However, as was mentioned earlier about narcissists, those are evil kind of people in my opinion. So, but they have much the same, if not worse, effects on people. I know they have effects on me. It drives me nuts. Thank you. Ash Hermit says, I totally agree, Marie. There has to be energy vampires. It's the only way I can come close to describing some people I've been around, especially my ex. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a blood-sucking variety as well, or two. There's stories in so many cultures that they could be anything from aliens to alternative universe beings that found their way here. That's interesting too. What if they're from a different dimension and this is how they just naturally are? Maybe it's also because something like the dinosaurs, right? They're so big because the oxygen was twice what it was now. Also, so was the air pressure too back then. So but the point is that maybe they're from a different dimension where they have more energy to tap naturally for each person,
right.
And they just have these big personalities because of it. I don't know. Grumpy Owl says, I think most of what we see in the movies is imagination, yes, but these myths must have something to them, much like the werewolf and dogman thingamabob. Thingamabob? Dogmans or thingamabobs? Okay. These superstitions were around much longer than Hollywood, but some people like to think that that's where they originate. Yeah. It would suck, to be a vampire, though. Living forever in the same body just sounds kind of pretentious. LOL. I'm thinking of the alchemist Count of Saint Germain. There was alleged mortality and a possible vampire.
Immortal.
That's what I said. Nope. It doesn't matter what you think you heard. It's what I said. There are psychic vampires, yes. I've heard of ones that can attach to you and draw from you whenever they want. And they might not even realize they're doing that to people. Yes. Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I agree, Grumpy Owl.
So Luna Moonicorn, you said Luna Moonicorn was still typing. She says, my answer sucked, so I deleted it. No, it does not.
Yep.
Gosh.
Okay, so here's the thing on vampires. I believe all legends are built on some truth. And certainly the Black-Eyed Kids seem to be at least partially embodying some of the lore that we attribute to vampires through Hollywoodization and stuff. But when I talked to a gentleman in Indiana doing the podcast, he emailed me.
Right.
And he didn't say what he was dealing with or what he had dealt with. He just said, I don't want to say what this is or what I think it is. I want to hear what you think it is. And so he typed out this whole narrative. And I was blown away because I was like, my God, I said, I said, it sounds bizarre, but it sounds like you encountered what we would often consider a vampire. He goes, exactly. He said, I didn't want to say it because it sounds so crazy.
Right.
If you go back to season 3, I think that was.
I'll have to.
I think it was season 3 when the vampire episode of our podcast. It was pretty incredible what he had witnessed and seen. And I had many conversations with this gentleman, and I believe that he was telling the truth. He was telling us something that he witnessed as a very young child once, and then again as an adult when he saw another one. And he seems to think that somehow he's been tagged. like they know where he is or when when he's in any area.
Right.
And he's had them reveal themselves to him twice. Now it sounds way out there. It sounds like, really, there's vampires running around. But again, this is not an unusual, it's not as rare as you think, but we don't hear a lot of these stories. There's claims out of New Orleans to the modern age of people encountering these vampiric-like beings. And, people do bump into something, and maybe that's not really what they are, but that's what people attribute them to, which includes the mesmerizing, the almost losing control of yourself in their presence. And they seem to, want people to feed on, for lack of a better term. So, and then if you think about that, and then you think about the missing 411 stuff, what if some of that is just the Cullens out there in the woods?
The Cullens.
Doing some shiny vampire stuff. I'm just saying.
Shiny vampire. Shiny
but
vampires.
I do firmly believe that every legend started from some source. And certainly, as anything goes, things get embellished or corrupted in their retellings or re-explained or reinvented. And I think that's definitely what happened with the vampire. But I think they're based on something. And, I guess you'd be the judge. But again, go back and listen to that episode if you haven't heard it already. And I think you'll agree that he's seen something that doesn't fall into any other category. I tried desperately as I was reading his narrative to say, what could this be? And it was like vampire. Well, yeah, but what else could it be? No, vampire. I just kept coming back to, God, that's
all that makes sense.
Yeah. And when you hear him explain what he saw and how it made him feel, it would be like, God, that would have been horrifying. It would have been absolutely horrifying. So you be the judge. But anyway, thank you to everybody that responded. I appreciate it. Raw, I apologize. I don't understand. I should maybe pre-read these because the narrative there is confusing me. It seems like you're telling a story, and I don't want to omit anything, but I can't interpret.
We're not seeing the connection.
Right. I can't interpret it on the fly during a live show, what you're trying to say and versus how you're laying it out there. So my apologies. I don't mean to mischaracterize your response. I just am confused by it. So I hope you understand. It's not meant to, cast aspersions or anything. So it just was confusing. So anyway, that is the question of the week. Did we get a new join? Did anybody new join? Let's see. Nope, nobody new joined yet. Okay, so maybe you all are already members of our Discord, and that's cool. It costs you nothing, for the record. It doesn't cost anything. But we certainly love to have you guys over here because there's just a whole cornucopia of paranormal links and information that our community has put forth and discussions that are always ongoing over here. So check it out. You'll be impressed. I know you will. So, all right. This has been the Discord question of the week.
Why didn't you just... and it would have done it before, yeah.
Yeah, I should have just turned on the other channel, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to hear it? It goes like this. Week. The week.
There you go. Nice.
You're right. I should have done that earlier, Don. I should use it to my benefit.
That's why I'm produced.
All right. So anyway, what a Dragula. Are you serious, Chucky?
No.
Oh my God.
Wow. Encountering the Vampire, Paul from Indiana.
Yes.
It is season 3, episode 48.
Season 3, episode 48.
Let me post it. Copy.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a listen if you haven't heard it. I was blown away by this guy's story, and again, I had many conversations with him before we recorded, and just running through it all. And I mean, his story didn't change. It was the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
And his responses very organic.
Right.
You know, and you could tell that whatever he experienced, it really did affect him on a profound level.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep. So there you go.
There you go, folks. That is the truth. All right. I do want to take a quick break because I got to go use the loo.
Okay.
So we're going to do the loo. Smoke them if you got them. Grab a libation. Use the loo yourself. And just give me about 2 minutes, folks. Drank a lot of water today. It's 100 degrees. 100 degrees here today.
That ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing.
It is up here in the north tip of Idaho. In Texas? No, that ain't nothing. But we don't live in Texas. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. I promise. We'll be just a couple minutes.
Lou who?
Lou who? All right, wait. I didn't need to do that. I needed to do this.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
There you go. All right, folks. Oops. Got to turn that off. There we go. I had the question of the week thing still up there.
Rookie.
Rookie, you
Rookie.
have you know what time it is, Don?
It is time for
More paranormal goodness.
Rookie.
Well, we're going to get to some more of the Paranormal Portal.
Sweet.
Thank you all for your indulgence as I took care of business, and I feel better now. For the record, thank you all once again for being here. We're going to dive into
No.
What?
Rachel.
What?
In Canada, with cobras, chickens, polar bears, grizzly hybrids, if we don't make puns, we're just going to pizzle.
We're just going to pizzle? What?
Pizzle.
I don't know.
Pizzle's the name of the hybrid. Oh, goodness.
Oh, okay.
He's not very punny.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. We're going to get to another paranormal article we were kind of touching on the other day, and we made it through that entire one, the Glitch in the Matrix one, but this one is one from ranker.com, and ranker.com is a great source for lists and about pretty much anything you're interested in. You can find a list on there highlighting some weird stuff. But I like the paranormal ones over there. This one is ranker.com list. It's Angel and Demon Encounters. And it's by Amanda Ashley, who compiled all of this and posted it on Ranker. So we already started this list, but we're going to continue on. I don't know how many are left, but we're about to find out. And then we'll get to the cryptid corner. But this one is Growling Demon. Growling Demon, Don. I don't think that's how they growl. That's how your demons growl. Okay. All right, so let's check this one out. It says, from a former Redditor, this one semester, a few people in my student group, including myself, within a month, all saw, heard, experienced something I'd call demonic. We only really found out we all did at the same time a few months or weeks later. I think I read this one, but we're reading it again. I forgot, basically, or I forget. He thinks it was a couple of weeks later. I forget. Basically, one of my friends woke up to growling noises. Another went on to his bedroom and saw two red eyes looking at him from a window and then gone. And I was woken up to strange noises in my room, and when I got up to see what it was, something punted my chest, held my neck down, and then disappeared. Yikes. Punted your chest. That means kick you in the chest, right?
Yeah, kicked you in the chest, yeah.
Sheesh. That's pretty brutal.
Wow.
It also happened a second time, and that time it decided to punch me in the face rather than choke me, and then disappeared again. Oh, my God.
Really?
That's got to be about the most frustrating thing, because you don't. I mean, if somebody pops you, you want nothing better than to just pop them right back.
Exactly.
It's like,
where'd you go?
You just got to eat that rage afterwards. I didn't see what it was, though. My mind had a field day trying to. My friend who saw something did not hear anything, and my friend who heard something did not see anything. And it was one of the strangest events I'd ever experienced. Up until that point, I discounted demonic things as petty ignorance of an ancient people, but now I'm not so sure. These events took place within, I would imagine, a month, not all on the same night.
Wow.
So much as I know. Wow. Yeah, I mean, something's hitting you, man. That's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Luna. She remembered. Luna remembered. Oh, who's gifting? Luna's gifting members.
Luna gifted members.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh. She not only remembered, but she membered other people. All right. Thank you, Luna.
She remembered.
Well, she's still a member, so
Oh.
that's what I call when somebody re-ups their membership, they're remembering.
Oh. No, she did. Yeah, no, she did better than that.
She did even better than that. Thank you, Luna. That's so sweet.
Is that Cookie Jarvis out there? Cookie, is that you? Ain't seen you in a while.
Where? What?
Chris Jarvis.
Oh, nice. Hey,
Yeah.
Chris. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thought maybe you forgot where we lived, but
Here we are.
he's been, Chris is part of this family.
Yep.
Way, way, way back when, but glad you made it back. Good to see you. All right, so that was a good story. I mean, it's again, these are all little blurbs, but here's one. It's a snow melting angel. So some of these are going to be dark, some of these are going to be light. Excuse me. as this is also from a former Redditor, so we don't know who to attribute it to directly. The winter of my freshman year at college, I was seriously physically ill with a penicillin-resistant infection that caused me to double up in pain often, and was battling mental illness as well. It was my first year in the upper Midwest, and it was the coldest winter in 10 years in the area. I was coming from the Southwest deserts, where it rarely gets cold. I'd suffered through a couple frostbitten toes already that winter. I have mild Raynaud's, and I just learned that I had a chronic injury that would impact the activity I loved to do most forever. I was struggling to fit in at the college I was attending, and every day I cried for hours because my classes were really hard for me. I wanted to die and prayed to die every day. One night I had a dream in which I woke up in the morning and the snow was melting. There were flowers. The sun was out. Everything was beautiful. I walked to class in the dream and sat down at the desk, and a young man sitting next to me turned to me in the dream and told me, "God told me to tell you that the snow will melt." Well, I was confused, and the young man repeated the words in my dream. I remember being surprised and realizing that it was an angel. When I woke up right after that, I felt instantly better. I kept repeating those words to myself for the rest of that winter. Yeah, me too. Whoever wrote this, I'm with you. Every time I see a snowflake, it's like, yes, it's gonna melt. It's gonna melt eventually. It'll melt. It's not staying forever. I'm not a fan of winter at all.
So does that make her a Yooper because she's from Upper Midwest? Is that
Yooper is a northern Michigan.
So specifically Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Upper Peninsula. UP.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Ooper.
Yep.
Is that an Ooper or an Upper?
I don't.
We're not going to get into that.
Yoopers.
It's a Yoopers.
Yooper. But yeah, that's usually referring to Michigan. All right, number 8, glowing red eyes.
Chicken? You mean like the breast? You said Michigan. I'm just saying.
All right, here we go. Glowing red eyes demon. This is by Phasers to Fab.
Wow.
I saw a demon once when I was a kid. It was a silhouette of something clearly not human, and it was standing on my neighbor's driveway. Well, as cheesy as it sounds, it had glowing red eyes, too. I've heard what I believe were demons. Once I heard my entire family in the hallway talking about how they hated me. We did this one before. I was in my room silently crying about it and decided to walk out and just show them that I heard what they said, and it made me sad. I walked out, and no one was there. I looked everywhere, and I asked my family about it years and years later, and none of them knew what I was talking about. They're nice, and I have no reason to believe what I heard was actually them. Plus, the house we're living in at the time had a lot of incidents like this. We were constantly hearing other people walking around, opening doors, the fridge, etc. Yeah, that's a real mind screw, though, you know. I remember saying this the last time we read this one. It's been quite a while, but it's like, you know, you're already a kid. You're already dealing with a real awkward phase of growing up and trying to figure out who you are in all of this.
Right.
And then to hear the people you love most out just on the other side of a wall saying how much they hate you. It's like, oh my God, what a diabolical thing. So I'm glad that the person realized that there was nobody there, but that's still really, really, really creepy.
That's the kind of stuff they do, though.
Yeah, I know. They just, that's the part that's so hard to understand.
Oh, shoot. We missed something, the ghost radar.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, something blipped. But it's one thing, I mean, it must be such a profound hatred that it just, you know, it's like the most inconsolable person when somebody really is really inconsolable. You could level every creative word and combination of words to somebody that's just fallen apart, and it wouldn't matter.
Right.
And it's like, I try to think, and I guess it's a good thing I don't understand, because there's some people in this world I really don't like. I just don't think are nice people at all, but I still don't hate them, and it's hard for me to understand.
Right.
What is that hatred like, and how absolutely painful does your existence when that's all you can focus on is how much you hate something.
Right.
and that's just so profoundly foreign to me. Yeah, I don't know, craziness, but just to be so hell bent on, literally, but hell bent on the destruction of other, entire peoples.
Right.
What would that life be like? It just must be such a torment to even exist. All right, the tallest angel. This one sounds familiar, like we might have read this one before too. And this is from Redditor. What eats green? What eats green? Nope. What's green eats nuts. Sorry, I got it right. I've seen an angel. I was 11 years old, 30s now, but never doubted what happened. I was asleep in my room when I woke up in the middle of the night from a bright light shining through my room's curtains.
Oh.
Our street didn't have any street lights, and we had tall trees lining the front of the house and the street. I knew this light wasn't normal. Initially, I was terrified as I lay as still as I could for what felt like 10 minutes. Eventually, I mustered the courage to go and satisfy my growing curiosity and made my way out of my bed towards the window as quietly as I could. I positioned myself against the wall next to the window and pulled back the curtain just a little bit. Then I saw him, a very big, tall figure wearing long robes looking over our house. The trees I spoke of earlier were taller than the roof of our house, and they took him at waist height. Wow. Huge. The light was radiating from him. I don't remember facial features or hair, and he didn't have wings, but awestruck, I went straight to my parents' bedroom and woke them up, telling them of a tall man outside. Well, Mom thought I had a bad dream and got into bed, and I got into bed with them and slept. The next morning, I told them the whole story, and they believed me. The experience was definitely changed my life. I can't imagine anything that could beat that angel in a fight. Yeah, thank goodness.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, we like to have our angels tougher than the dark. That's kind of important.
So I have to butt in and get off topic here for a second, but
like that's new.
Yeah.
Like that's new. Whatever. Okay.
Maggie said something about they're talking about blackberries, and Karen brought up blackberry, or Karen mentioned that blackberries. She hates blackberries. She loves blackberries, but there's too many, and because she hates them because of the thorny bushes. Well, Maggie says they're illegal, and so Chucky said they're illegal in Australia, and she says, "Yeah, Chucky, blackberries are illegal in Australia."
Wow.
How the hell does that work?
Maybe
they
because
are incredibly invasive, and they do choke out the native flora. You're absolutely right.
Sure.
But they're freaking delicious,
But
and you can't control them. Yeah.
Are they up here? I mean, they're here. I mean, I know they're here, but they're here naturally, right? This is like their home domain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there's natural balance and boundaries for them. They have to compete against. But yeah, you introduce something like that over where it's nothing predates on it. Yeah, they would just go nuts.
Well, yeah, you can.
But you'd have a whole wall of delicious in front of you.
Well, I don't know. Karen says that she's got just so many that they're falling on the ground and she can't eat them all.
Oh.
But, that she hates them because, well, they're thorny.
They are thorny. Yep, they are a thorny bush, but God, they're good. And raspberries. I got a ton of raspberries. Actually, when we first moved into this place, since we're off, we're already off.
Oh my goodness.
We're already off topic here. But when we first moved here,
oh my gosh,
the entire backyard was raspberry bushes.
Yeah.
There was just this little half circle of grass, and then it was just all raspberry bushes.
Right.
And I'm talking like 50 by 100 feet, just solid raspberry bushes.
It was horrible.
It was. I mean,
I don't know how you got rid of them like that.
There was a hell of a lot of digging. I dug up that entire backyard, and root systems pulling out by, you just can't imagine.
Right.
It was horrible, but we got them back. Now we have a nice raspberry hedge.
Yeah.
And they give us love every year.
Yep.
But man, they were taking over.
I'm amazed at what you did with that backyard. I mean, just, Mrs. Portal putting up the garden every year has just been amazing.
She loves the hell out of that
Chucky
garden.
Chucky says that's very disappointing.
Well, the berries probably think so, but we left some survivors.
There you go. Well, yeah.
And they're still trying to repopulate because they root underground and then pop up and then root underground and pop up. So you have this chain of plants that are all connected. And if you cut between any one of them, the rest, they're fine.
Right.
But it's like such a
It's a long,
an aggressive plant.
process,
Yeah.
There you go.
So, number 10, Black Dog Demon. This is by Redditor Rose of Amber. I'm pretty sure I've seen a demon. My mother wasn't a very nice person when we were growing up and is doing much better now. But I'm convinced we had something attached to our house we had when we were growing up. My parents have since moved. The demon I saw manifested as a large black dog-shaped thing that looked lizard-like with red eyes. I saw this several times as a young teen. Personally, I think it was feeding off the anger in the house. Anger has a kind of power to it when you use it to control other people. Demons like to feed off of it and use you to cause strife if they can. Demons don't have any real power unless you allow it, which my mother and I have done in the past, and we no longer have any issues. Yeah, there's probably truth to that they do feed off of the chaos that they cause.
The negative energy.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you think about the concept of, let's say the demons actually are the traditional belief of these fallen angels. They're no longer in the light of the divine or connected to that light. So the only thing they can feed off is whatever energy they can get. And one thing they're diabolically good at is pissing people off and causing people to be angry and to have conflict and darkness. So, I mean, they create batteries out of people, really. I mean, in a sense. So, cartoon form demon. This one's. I mean, all of these are sounded familiar. I know we've touched on many of these, but again, these articles are aggregate. They're just grabbed from sources like Reddit and combined, and so we do get repeats. And if you've heard these stories before on the show, I apologize, but I can't screen everything and look for repeats. But this is by Just Peachy 13. When I was young, I saw a demon. My sister's room was down the end of the hallway. I fell asleep on the couch in the living room, and I could see clearly down the hallway from this view. I woke up in the night and saw my sister standing in her doorway, and I said, "Hey, sis, you okay?" Then with a sickening in my stomach, I realized my sister wasn't home that night. She was at a friend's. And he says, I went back to sleep. Wow. How do you do that?
Nope.
How do you do that? If you just realize your sister's gone and you just talk to something that wasn't your sister and then you just drift off to sleep, you're cut from a different metal than me.
You are so detached.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
You might be a sociopath. I'm just saying. A year or so later, I was asleep in my bed and I saw a demon next to my bed. It was a dream demon. I don't know how you know that. So he was in cartoon form.
What?
I don't know. I mean, sounds fluffy to me, but I cried out to Jesus and commanded him to leave, and I woke up suddenly to a figure ducking out of my doorway. No one in my home was that size, so I knew it was evil.
Okay. So,
because of its size, he knew it was evil.
Right, yeah.
I don't think I believe this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is hard to swallow.
Yeah, it's just too disparate, and I mean, because it's a dream demon, it's a cartoon. Where did that come from?
But then suddenly they woke up and suddenly something was ducking out of the doorway.
Right.
That could just be your dad was messing with you, and I mean, because I know I do that stuff.
Nice.
No, I don't. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's just so many assumptions that are drawn from out of nowhere in this story. Well, it was a dream demon, so it was a cartoon.
Right.
It's like, no, maybe you're just having a cartoon dream. Now, I mean, there may be some basis for this, but I think that's a lot of creative writing. No one in my home was that size, so I knew it was evil.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? If you're short, you're evil, or if you're tall, you're evil? Where is that going? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Never mind. I can't say that.
Oh, God. Wow, you filtered, Don?
Well, it was a bit insensitive.
Don filtered. Okay.
I try my best.
You do. I know you do.
Well, okay, I try. Maybe
Yeah.
not my best.
How many more are left? No, this is actually the last one, so this is perfect.
There you go.
I was going to say one more left. One more, we'll read one more, but it's the last one, so it's perfect. This is by Moonchild02. I used to live in a haunted house. There was a lot of spiritual activity there. I'm an empath, which means I sense things that others don't know are there, and I can feel what others are feeling. Example, if someone near me is in pain, I'm in pain too. So I've had a lot of experiences with the spiritual, supernatural, paranormal, whatever you want to call it. Angels. I've sensed them or heard them more than seen. I've seen the sword of St. Michael in the form of blue lightning in my room. Clear skies, no rain, the middle of summer. It was when a demon was frightening me and I had to ask for help from God. Mother Mary and St. Michael, and I felt warm hands touching me, trying to console me, but it always freaks me out. I sometimes hear them when I'm asking them to pray for me. Once I was watching Supernatural, and the episode was about how Saint Raphael had turned bad and was trying to kill people, and I recently stopped watching the show because it seemed to be all of a sudden making fun of my faith. But a friend of mine said it was a really great episode. All of a sudden, I saw the real Saint Raphael in front of me next to the television crying. I knew then and there that I could never watch that show again.
Oh, jeez.
That's another one that's kind of all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, certainly I don't doubt that somebody's empathetic. I think everybody is empathic. I think we all just have it within us to be empathic, but not everybody is tuned into it.
And some people skip the EM part and just go to pathetic.
There could be that too. There's some of that out there. But very cool. That's the end of that article, which is probably a good thing because they were getting kind of flaky at the end, I think.
Yeah, they were getting bad.
Didn't it seem like that, or is it just me? Yeah.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for a good, quick little story, but some of those are just all over the map.
Yeah,
So
quickies are good ones.
some quickies, never mind. I'm just not even going to give you that food
Oh,
to work
man.
with.
I almost had that one.
Nope, I pulled it back. I reeled it back in before it went through the Doninator.
That's just nonsense.
That's nonsense, yeah. Yep. Expressing nonsense wherever he goes. All right, so we are going to get to some Cryptid Corner because we love us some cryptids, Don.
Oh, no.
What?
Rachel says short demons are evil because they can't reach the high shelves.
Right.
It's every short girl I've ever met. Jeez.
That could be. You could be right, Rachel. We don't know. We're not drawing any conclusions here on the show for sure because we just don't know. All right, let's get to some SasquatchChronicles.com, hit the blog, and find out just what Mr. Wes has served up fresh for our entertainment tonight. Not that he does this for us, but he lets us leech off of him. So,
Yeah, he serves up a lot of fresh stuff, that's for sure.
so let's see what he's serving up fresh tonight, folks. Let's head over to Sasquatch Chronicles blog.
Rawr.
All right. Rawr. All right. Here we go from August 15th, upcoming show. This is going to be a show, so that's exciting. I saw a large wolf-like creature. A listener from Ohio writes, in the fall of 2022, my daughter and I were driving back from one of her high school choir performances. My wife decided to stay home this time with our son because he can be a little rowdy in these types of events, as a toddler can be. Well, on the way home, it was between 9 and 9:30 or so. It was pretty dark, and we were driving home on State Route 50, just a mile or so out of town, and my daughter, like most teenagers, was on her phone, so the car was pretty quiet. And we were going about 50 or 55 miles per hour when suddenly this very large, dark brown dog-looking thing shot across the road from a dry creek bed into the field across the highway. I've been in the woods my entire life, and I've seen coyotes and all sorts of other animals. I grew up hunting and fishing, and there isn't an animal in our area that I haven't seen in the wild. Bear, deer, fox, you name it. This was something very different. First, it moved faster than any animal I had ever seen move in my life. It was like the Flash in the comics. It was so fast that by the time I told my daughter to look at it, I think I read this one already, but anyway, she only got a quick peek and said, "Big dog?" I said I didn't know, but I knew it was much larger than any dog I've ever seen before, and it moved unlike anything I've ever seen. It must have covered 100 yards in just under 3 or 4 seconds. It was like a blur almost. I remember seeing clearly, though, a large snout and ears that stood up like a Doberman. It had a very large mane, like around its head, though, but the ears were sticking out of the hair. It almost reminded me of a chow dog, but with a wolf's ear and muzzle. It was dark brown and almost black, and it ran on all fours. I actually got up the nerve to stop at the spot in the road one day on my way home from work. It was daylight, and I could see the creek bed, the fence, and the slope of the hill up to the road on the side where it took off from. I realized it had to be almost 4 foot tall on all fours as I compared my memory to the size of the fence and the road sign on the other side of the road. I can't get it out of my mind. It was so fast. It gets weirder. I feel like I saw something very unnatural that night. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, the fastest a human can do a 100-yard dash.
Mm-hmm.
The fastest is held by a guy named Asafa Powell at 9 seconds, 0.07. Usain Bolt's 100-meter is 9.58. Now, Usain Bolt is fast.
Yeah.
That guy's fast.
Yeah, so this is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it says 3 or 4, but I imagine, it's just a blink of an eye. It's like, boom.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what a dog would do it in. Let's say like a greyhound. How fast would a greyhound run 100 yards? That's what I'd be curious. Just because we're talking about something that's also quadrupedal and canid, is it so much faster than just a dog would run it? So
let's see here. So, fastest dogs in the world, 2006, 100-meter, same Olympics. Usain Bolt. How does this got to do with dogs? Oh, okay. A greyhound can reach 43 miles an hour.
Okay.
A Vizsla can hit 40. An Afghan can hit 40 miles per hour. Jack Russell's 38. So, let's see here. The average person runs about 15 miles per hour.
Yeah, I think I'm
That's
about
sprint.
3.
Three. That's most people's walking speed, dude.
Yeah, no, that's my full sprint.
That's like, hey, look, I'm running. You should run too. Let's see here. No, it actually doesn't say how fast. You would have to break down the math. So,
at 40 miles per hour.
yeah.
Okay, so 2 seconds per 100 meter. Okay, let's see. Miles per hour per 100 meters. So if we did 40, it looks like it would be
Oh yeah,
5 seconds.
5.6,
So if you were going 40 miles an hour, you could do the 100 meters in 5.5. You would do the 100 meters at 5.59 seconds. So if we went, so let's say 60, what would that be? So yeah, it's in the 60 mile per hour range. If it did it in about 3 or 4 seconds, because it's 3.728 seconds if you're doing 60 miles per hour.
Oh, okay, here it is. When Usain Bolt set his 100-meter world record running at a speed of 22.9 miles per hour and covered that distance in 9.58 seconds, a greyhound could complete the same race in 5.33 seconds.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, there you go.
Yep. So it must have been going about 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
If that's what this guy actually observed.
Crazy.
And maybe even a little faster if it was more towards the 3 and not towards the 4.
Right.
So, yeah, that's screaming. That's a lot of speed for any animal. That's like cheetah speed, you know?
Yeah.
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 Crazy. Let's go to the next one on Sasquatch Chronicles. August 14th, it stood up and looked right at me. A listener writes, it was about late 2021, maybe early 2022, in Fernie, British Columbia. The creature was about my uncle's height, and my uncle's a tall guy, so that's what alarmed me when I saw this thing. I'm from southern Saskatchewan, and I'm used to fields and small hills, and I was camping out in British Columbia with my mom and sister, and we were taking a hike to get to the lake that was in this little valley up in the mountains. Well, as we were about halfway to the lake, I realized I'd forgotten something back at the campsite, and my mom told me to run back and meet her and my sister at the valley. On the way back, I kept hearing knocks and whoops, but I just brushed it aside. I grew up in the country, so I was thinking it was just someone out looking for their dogs. When I get to the campsites, something is hunched over our tent trying to get in, and I just stood watching it. It was a deep red-brown color, and its hair was matted against its elbows like it spent a lot of time army crawling. When it stood up and turned around, it looked right at me. I reached for my hunting knife, but it wasn't with me, and when I do that motion, reaching for my side, it runs off. And our campsite was fairly big for 3 people, but this thing crossed the perimeter in one quick stride, and it was gone. I don't know why, but I turned around and ran to the valley without grabbing whatever it was that I forgot. I tried telling my mom about it, but she wouldn't listen because who wants to listen to a 16-year-old girl going on about this creature she saw in the woods? Last week, I told my boyfriend about it, and he told me to contact you about my encounter because he said that you have a show about Sasquatch, and I thought, if anyone would believe me, it's you. Yeah, and people are like, we believe you. Of course, yeah. That's pretty crazy. So that's kind of an interesting take, that its hair was matted at the elbows because it was probably scooching itself along the ground, going real low, kind of coming in, not sure if there was someone in the campsite or not.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, that's a great story. I believe her. Do you believe her, Don?
I believe her.
Yeah, we believe you.
Ooh, I'm a believer.
Yep. All right, let's go to August 13th, Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Oh, this is a video one. We really can't do this one. I guess we could. It's on Wes's blog after all, right?
Well, yeah.
I can't with the sound though, can I? How long is it? I don't know. Let's skip this one for now. If we got time, we'll come back to it. But it's a 1976 Bigfoot encounter, so it's probably going to be long. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put a link in the chat, and if those of you would like to check it out after the show, probably hear a pretty good experience this guy had in 1976, then by all means do so. So there it is. It's in there in the chat for your viewing pleasure. All right. Here we go. Last one from Sasquatch Chronicle blog. August 11th, large creature with 20 arms found lurking in Antarctica.
What?
In the Antarctic Sea.
Wow.
A large creature with 20 arms? Wow. Who sat and counted those? The Miami Herald reports scientists aboard a research vessel near Antarctica pulled their nets out of the chilly ocean water. Among their catch, they found a 20-armed creature with a distinctive body shape. It's a new species. Researchers trawled the Southern Ocean on several research expeditions between 2008 and 2017, according to a study published July 14th in the journal Invertebrate Systematics. They were searching for a group of cryptic sea animals known as Pramacocrinus, or Atlantic feather stars.
Okay.
Antarctic feather stars are large animals that can live anywhere about 65 feet to about 6,500 feet underwater and have an otherworldly appearance. When swimming, researchers said, although both are invertebrate ocean animals, feather stars are distinct from more well-known sea stars. Okay. During their surveys, researchers collected 8 feather stars with a distinctive body shape and discovered a new species. That one again, Frugarius, or the Antarctic strawberry feather star. The Antarctic strawberry feather star has 20 arms branching off its its central strawberry-like body. The study said it can range in color from purplish to dark reddish. Researchers did not provide measurements of the animal's overall size. Photos show the new species has 2 types of appendages. Its lower, shorter arms appear almost striped and bumpy, while its upper, longer arms appear almost feathered and soft. There it is. Kind of looks like, I guess, like an anemone, a sea anemone with, but it sounds like it swims like a jellyfish, right?
Yes. No, because jellyfish
Well,
well, it's a star. It can swim any way it wants.
sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, weird. This photo shows a strawberry feather star's lower body. It has roughly triangular shape. Anyway, that's kind of cool.
Huh.
There you go. New creatures.
There you
Again, why? Well, we already know everything that's out there. No, we don't. We're still finding things.
Wow. Talk about hubris, huh?
Hubris. Damn hubris. All right. Let me do this quick, and I'll close this one. That's interesting. Gotta love that. Okay. There's some photo evidence. This would be probably a good show to do this one on. This one is now coming from phantomsandmonsters.com, folks. It flutters in the water, I think. Paranormal Portal. Yeah, I think it must like swim in maybe a jellyfish-like fashion, but maybe it's more flappy. I don't know. I'm not sure what fluttering really looks like, but say an enemy, you're my enemy. That's a tongue twister, Chucky.
Sure.
Yeah, I have enough trouble just talking normally without doing tongue twisters.
Yeah.
All right, here's from phantomsandmonsters.com. Again, Lon Strickler's site. Great site full of many reports. Lon's published works, their research efforts on many topics, as well as Phantoms and Monsters podcast. You can find links for all of that at phantomsandmonsters.com. Please support the site over there. And also, if you're on YouTube, as you are, because you're watching us, head over to Phantoms and Monsters YouTube channel and subscribe, because Lon's working to try to build his subscriber base. So, gotta help the man out. He's been at it for years and years and years. One of the pillars of the community, as it were. All right, here we go. Here comes the first one from phantomsandmonsters.com. July 20th, Four Corners investigator provides Bigfoot evidence photos.
Wow.
You heard that right, folks. Bigfoot evidence. Four Corners, I think that's like Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and I think that's the area where all of those states come together.
Okay.
And Nevada. Yeah, I think that's the Four Corners, and looks like, four, squares fitting right up to each other, if I'm right. It says Dave Oz, who is a New Mexico and Four Corners Bigfoot investigator, recently commented on RMS about activity and photographic evidence collected. There's a lot of activity in the Mogollon Rim in Arizona. I'm surprised this has not been reported more often. And there are Four Corners locations too. I know a gal who used to camp close to the site where Travis Walton was abducted by alleged aliens in the 70s. And she told me a few years back that she will not camp there anymore due to observed gray aliens and Bigfoot activity.
Wow.
Ooh, creepy. I remember 3 years ago listening to my police scanner about a gorilla observed near my home off US 64 near the Sunray Casino, New Mexico. On a Sunday morning at 7 a.m., a female sheriff's deputy reported to stopping a car and saying to the dispatch, "I also saw that gorilla while turning around on the highway." The area has a fair share of sightings, especially in and around the nearby San Juan River from Colorado all the way into Utah. Dave sends photos from this area, and here's the first one. Hopefully it's coming up okay. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, that's pretty clearly. I mean, that's a figure.
Right?
Now is it impossible that it's not a tree stump? Well, it could be a burned out tree stump, but God, that looks like a figure. Looks like a bipedal figure just standing there.
Yep.
So I think that's a great capture. Here's a big foot, literally 16 inches roughly. No, 15 inches looks like. It's got a little bit of a slide to it, so it might not be quite that long. It might be more from like here, and then it slid out and up, and that's where the drag mark comes from.
Right.
But that's still a significant size foot. And he also states it was J.C. Johnson back then looking at a spot where a car had been driven off the road a few months earlier. It says was heavy equipment pulling it out. Or there was, okay.
Yeah.
There was heavy equipment pulling it out, and we noticed footprints all over the riverbank. We also observed where a tribal policeman tried to erase the footprints, but didn't get them all.
Yep, that makes sense.
Wow, really?
That makes sense.
Wonder why they would do that.
Because they don't want it out.
Oh, yeah, I suppose they kind of keep that stuff hush hush.
Yep.
So, note, JC recounted this incident to me at the time. The San Juan River has regularly been active. Here's a link to many of the reports provided to me by JC Johnson over the years he was with us. Yeah, that's fantastic, in memory of JC Johnson. I might leave that one open and just pull that up, and actually I could just do this. Open in a new tab, and we can I'll peruse it offline and see if there's more to bring to the show. J.C. Johnson is who Jack Carey's been on the show several times, and Jack was an understudy of J.C. Johnson. So, and I know Lon knows J.C. Johnson as well from back in the day. So, very cool. All right, let's go to the next one. We're going to go to this one. Transparent black entity encountered on dark New Mexico road. Yikes, Don.
Uh-oh.
You got it.
New Mexico again?
Yep, we're hitting the south. We're hitting the south, so if any of you are down there in New Mexico, be careful. There's not only Bigfoot, big feets, but there's also skinwalkers around there and transparent black entities, apparently.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you guys got plenty of stuff down there.
Well, you know, one of the stories you read earlier was from Ohio.
Wow, everything's in Ohio,
Yeah.
for God's sakes. They got, like, everything.
You sure Erie, Indiana's not in the wrong spot?
Gary. You said Gary?
I said Erie, but that's okay.
Erie? Oh.
Erie,
Erie. Erie, Indiana. Yeah. A couple are driving at night in northern New Mexico when they encounter a transparent black entity standing on the road. The witness states that he had no idea what this being was. I received the following account. Hey, Lon, back in the fall of 2020, during the pandemic, I was driving and I had a girl I was dating with me. I was picking her up from her house, and it was nighttime. This was in northern New Mexico, so there's like a hotbed of creatures and other strange stuff there as well. So we're driving down the road, and you know how sometimes a deer will jump out in front of your car? Well, I saw what I thought was a deer or something coming from the side of the road, and I would never ever think this would happen, but it jumped out in front of the car, and I hit the brakes. It was nighttime. So I have the headlights on, so we both leaned forward to look because at first I said, oh, that's a deer. And then I thought it was a dog. It gets within 5 feet of the headlights, and I'm almost stopped. The thing was black and transparent. The headlights went through it, and it looked like the size of a large dog or small bear, and the back end of it was higher than the front. The lights went through it, so it was kind of in this realm and kind of not. You could see the road and you could tell where the car was, like it knew we were there. I think it purposely jumped in front of the headlights, but I don't know. We both saw this thing, and I looked at my girlfriend and she said, did you just see that? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. Later on, I watched the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves.
Right.
It looked exactly like what they have in that movie when they call the soldier demon. It had the smaller front legs, but the back legs where they walked on 4s like a dog in the movie. And they had skin, but this thing I saw, it was totally black. But it had that shape to it, like it had a small head, a little head, and a large body, larger body than its head, but back a bit, exactly like in that movie. That thing in the movie wasn't just someone's imagination. Those things exist. What was it doing? I mean, it was out in the middle of nowhere. There were houses and people around, but I don't know. And here's a clip from Constantine, the soldier demon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a really creepy looking thing. There's a still frame of it, yeah. Of having like, you know, this weird emaciated bodies. But it was pretty gross in the movie. I remember that. So, what do you think it is? I don't know. I tell you one time.
Hi, what are you doing?
Oh, Pikachu jumped
Hi, again.
up. He's like, I usually lay up here when you're not here.
He probably does.
Yeah, he lays right on that table. I one time was driving up a mountain road near here, not too far from where I saw a UFO, the saucer that I saw prior to this. But a guy I knew used to live up there, and I was driving with another guy, a mutual friend of ours. We were going up to his house on this logging road, and it's winding through these dark woods. I mean, it's very thick woods, and it's kind of a flat area, but there's a stream running next to the road, but it's all wooded trees on the side. And as we're driving, I'm kind of sitting there, he's driving, and I'm just kind of not really paying real close attention to anything because I'd been up and down this road dozens and dozens of times by this time. But I saw what looked like a wall of darkness in the woods back a ways move and go to the right and then just kind of disappear. But it moved quick. I was like, wow. But I didn't think anything of it because I was like, was that just some cloud blocking the sun and kind of thing, or what was that? But then the friend I was with said, did you see that? And I said, well, I don't think so, but I saw this blackness that seemed to move off like a wall of it. And he said, yeah, that's what I mean. It was huge. I was like, yeah, I did see that. So I've seen like a black mass. It wasn't like humanoid. It wasn't in any way, shape, or form like a humanoid. It was just this space of darkness that moved through the forest, and it was incredible.
Right.
But true story. I don't know what I saw, but I saw it and he saw it as well. So it was pretty creepy, whatever it was.
Check the phone.
I would, but we can't use the phone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I can't use the phone, so sorry, caller. I see you're calling in. The phones aren't working because of the sound issues I'm having.
Right, because you have to fade us
Yep.
down and fade them up. And...
Up and down, just between sentences. So I'm sorry we can't take calls right now. My apologies. I know it's probably been appearing on the screen, but the phones aren't working. My apologies. So, yeah, cool story. I think that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, the phones aren't fixed yet, Maggie. Yep.
No, I wish they were. I'm really trying to figure out how to fix this problem, but it's a problem that doesn't seem to have any real obvious solution. So I keep waiting for an update that's going to fix it, but it hasn't come yet. So anyway, let's get to the next one. This is a different one, Don.
Okay.
White-Eyed Kid.
What?
Yep. From Phantoms and Monsters, White-Eyed Kid, August 11th, 2023. White-Eyed Kid, no, take me with you. Have you heard of White-Eyed Kids?
Nope.
Me either. But I've heard of people seeing apparitions with all white eyes. But
yeah, but that makes sense.
But I don't know what a white-eyed kid is.
Huh.
Let's see what this is. This is kind of a new phenomenon. We're going to have WEK. Instead of BEK, it's going to be WEK. Is this a new thing? Well, let's see. The eyewitness encounters a white-eyed kid while waiting in the parking lot for a friend. The kids want a ride, but the witness refuses. Things become a bit crazy after that.
You don't say.
It started out crazy.
How can you not expect something crazy to happen?
Right. I was in a 24-hour shopping center car park waiting for a friend who works there around 10 p.m. Suddenly, a kid pops out of the window screen and starts tapping. I'm thinking, where the hell did he come from? And what, is he trying to rob me? Well, anyway, I roll the window down partially and remember that my doors are locked, so I feel a bit safer. I asked the kid, what do you want? Sir, I'm lost. Can you take me home? Well, I asked, where are your parents? It was late at night, and there was no one else visible on the same floor I was waiting on. And this was starting to feel off. I'm lost, and I just want to go home, he replied. Excuse me. This was definitely weird. I looked at him again, then I do a double take. Oh my God. His eyes were white. Not just white around the edges, but unending white through the entire eye. No iris, no pupil, just a solid wall of light. I really don't know why, but I felt myself smiling slightly as I gazed at him.
Uh-oh.
Then my thoughts began to collect again. It must have been about 3 seconds. Sorry, kid. No, kid, I have to go. I immediately regretted replying. But you have to take me, the kid replied. I don't know how, but I could feel his voice more than hear it. His words began echoing in my mind longer than it should have. No, kid, I have to go. I started panicking. The kid replied again, this time with something indescribable behind his voice. I'm lost and I just want to go home. I don't know how, but at this point, it was as if someone had put the kid's voice in a loudspeaker. And as he spoke, I felt as though a booming was resonating from within the kid. The force of the kid's words was so strong. I felt strongly sympathetic to the kid, almost like I was being forced to by him. Anyway, with the last ounce of control I had left, I turned the car on and slammed on the accelerator. The kid immediately shouted out, "No, take me with you!" At this point, it was as though the kid's voice was a machine gun firing into me. I immediately sped up to the nearest exit in a dreamlike state and drove into the night. My friend at this point could find his own way back to his house, which he did later. While driving and exiting from the car park, I could still feel his voice within me, resonating at an amplified volume. The force of his voice, it was as if I had been picked up and violently shaken by the kids whose voice was so clear. And my unconscious was analyzing every nuance and inflection of what he said like I was being forced to. There was so much force behind it. Anyway, after I go back to my apartment, I immediately tried to forget the whole thing. The next day I drive to work in the normal manner, and my friend was resentful that I had left, but we soon went back to good terms. I never did tell him or anyone else about this incident. The strangest thing did happen, however, on that same day. When I was driving back from work to my apartment, there was a tremendous thunderstorm, and I noticed flashes, although I didn't see it, of lightning. When I was at my apartment building, I live in a complex, I opened a huge metal door to get in and was soaking wet. There was a handprint on it. I only noticed when I looked down to pull the handle, at about the same height as a small child would place their hands. The handprint was white, and although the whole door was dripping with water, the handprint seemed to be made of recently dried paint. I touched it, I looked up, and felt it in my hands, just to make sure it was painted. It was. I looked down again. The handprint, within the 2-second span of me sampling it and looking up, had gone from white to clear. From the rain dripping on the door, I touched it again and felt it. It was painted, but now completely soaked with water, and far more fluid than it was before, indicating it was being soaked. I looked down again. It had vanished. I put my hand on where the paint had been, but it was nothing but a metal door behind it. For some reason, I looked behind me, and of course, there was no one there. I went inside and made my way up to my apartment and had an early night, and I've not encountered any white-eyed kids since, or any being of supernatural type, for that matter. However, I now live a slightly more cautious life than before. I've become more religious now, and now occasionally read the Bible when I didn't really believe in God before. Maybe I'll go to church, I don't know. The fact is, these creatures might actually exist and are waiting for the right opportunity to strike. There you go, Don, white-eyed kids. Like we needed another version.
Right.
Well, may not need it, but we got it anyway. BEKs and WEKs are an extension of greater dangerous entity, like the glowing lure appendage on the heads of those deep-sea anglerfish. Yeah, probably. That's probably a pretty good take. Whatever they are, we don't want to mess with them, do we, Don?
Nope, not at all.
Don don't want to mess with nothing like that.
Nope.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody. Got no time for that.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up our journey tonight. My voice is about fried.
Yep.
I hope you guys had a good time, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. It's always an incredible journey to be here doing these shows and have you guys show up for them. So I appreciate your love and support, and for spreading the word. So many of you are still letting people know what the Paranormal Portal is.
Yep.
We appreciate that, don't we, Don?
We do. We appreciate you as well.
Well, anything in closing, Don?
Don't forget, you can get your Paranormal Portal gear at our Teespring store.
You can.
And directions to get there are in the comment or in the description.
Yep.
There you go. What was it? Oh, I'm gonna have to make a shirt called the Dawn Sense shirt. Okay, I'll figure that out. There you go.
What was the dinosaur one?
Oh, the dinosaur. No, that was the we drank.
No, I know.
The dinosaur one.
Yeah, what was the bearded dinosaur one? The Megalodon?
Oh, the Megalodon. Yes. Because that's Dawn Sense. There you go. Got it. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, that's what we got time for tonight. We hope you had a good time. Thank all of you for being here and being with us. We always love the journey, and you guys make it special, because otherwise we would just look stupid here talking to ourselves.
What do you mean the store's broken?
What store's broken?
I don't know. Is he, Chucky, are you talking to us?
Yeah, Chucky, what are you talking about? You can't make claims like that unfounded on our own show. Is there a problem with it? Seriously, though? If so, please let us know. Did you open it?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. I can check, I guess, too, because I think I got the links. Teespring. There it is.
Paranormal Apparel.
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
That's not. Yeah, it didn't come up for me.
It didn't come up?
Yeah,
for you?
I'm not. Yeah, but then again, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't go the right way.
You didn't go the right way, Don. You went the wrong way.
The wrong way?
The wrong way. Wrong. Well, there you go. Well, it seems to be working for whatever purpose. But if you do have problems with that, please let us know. You can always email paranormalportalradio@gmail.com or aetherarchives@gmail.com to get Don directly, because he's kind of in charge of the Teespring.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we got for you tonight. So thank you so much. And remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And hopefully we've helped you have a few of those tonight. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, good night, everybody. Peace out. That's it.
Good night.
I got to do the long fade again
the long
here.
Fade. The long fade into nothing. The long fade to...
Woo!